The largest empire in ancient history wasn't built with armies, it was bought. 550 BC. The Persian Empire conquers territory from India to Egypt, 3 continents, 50 million people, 40% of the world's population. The biggest empire anyone had ever seen. And here's what nobody tells you. They did it with money, not swords. While other empires sent soldiers, Persia sent gold. While others conquered cities, Persia bought them. While others ruled through fear, Persia ruled through paychecks. They discovered something revolutionary. You don't need to destroy your enemies. You just need to make surrender more profitable than resistance. This is the story of how one empire weaponized money so effectively that their financial system outlasted their empire by 1,000 years. How they invented economic warfare, and how their strategies are still being used today by every superpower on Earth. Stay with me. Because what Persia discovered about money and power 2,500 years ago is more relevant now than ever. 550 BC, Cyrus the Great has a problem. He's just conquered the Median Empire. Now he controls massive territory in modern-day Iran. But he needs to expand. Babylon to the west, Egypt to the south, India to the east. Traditional empires would raise huge armies, march on cities, besiege them for months or years, kill thousands, destroy infrastructure, then occupy with garrisons. This is expensive, slow, and creates generations of resentment. Cyrus does something different. He sends ambassadors with chests of gold. The message is simple. Join us voluntarily and keep your wealth, your position, your city. Resist and lose everything. Most cities take the gold. And here's the genius. Cyrus isn't just bribing them. He's making them invested in Persian success. When a local king accepts Persian gold, he becomes dependent on Persian patronage. He can't rebel without losing his income. His own wealth is now tied to Persian stability. Cyrus has converted potential enemies into economic partners. But he goes further. He doesn't just pay local rulers. He pays everyone. Persian policy is revolutionary. Conquered peoples keep their land, their laws, their religions, their leaders. They just pay tribute to Persia and accept Persian governors. But here's the trick. The tribute is usually lower than what they were paying their previous rulers. Think about this. You're a farmer in Babylon. Previously, you paid 30% tax to the Babylonian king. Persians conquer. Now you pay 20% to Persia. From your perspective, Persian conquest made you richer. Why would you rebel? Cyrus has figured out something profound. Empire isn't about control. It's about taxation. And the empire that taxes least while providing security wins loyalty. By 539 BC, Cyrus conquers Babylon without a battle. He literally buys the city. Babylonian priests are paid to open the gates. Citizens welcomed him as a liberator. Same strategy in Egypt, in Asia Minor, in India, by local elites. Lower taxes on common people. Everyone profits from Persian rule. But here's what makes this sustainable. Cyrus creates the world's first standardized currency, the gold daric. Same weight, same purity. Accepted everywhere in the empire. Before this, every region has its own money. Different weights, different metals. Trade is chaotic. You need money changers at every border. The daric changes everything. A merchant in India can buy goods with the same coin a merchant in Egypt uses. For the first time, there's a common currency across 3 continents. This is economic integration through monetary standardization. The daric becomes the dollar of the ancient world. And here's the real power. Persia controls the gold mines. They control the mint. They control the money supply. Which means they control the economy of the entire empire without needing soldiers everywhere. But Cyrus's successor, Darius I, takes this even further. He creates something that won't exist in Europe for another 2,000 years. A banking system. 520 BC, Darius I becomes emperor. The empire is vast, but communication is slow. How do you manage an economy spanning 3 continents when messages take months? Darius creates the world's first international banking network. He establishes imperial treasuries in every major city. These aren't just storage vaults. They're active banks. Here's how it works. A merchant in Susa wants to buy goods in Egypt. Instead of transporting gold across 2,000 miles, he deposits gold in Susa and receives a sealed document. He travels to Egypt, presents the document, and withdraws gold there. This is a letter of credit, the same system banks use today. But Darius goes further. The treasuries don't just store money. They lend it. Local governors need funds for projects. They borrow from the treasury at interest. Merchants need capital for trade. They borrow at interest. Farmers need seed money. They borrow at interest. The Persian Empire is operating as a central bank. They're creating credit, enabling commerce, taking interest on loans. And here's the genius. The interest payments flow back to the imperial treasury. The empire is literally making money by lending money. This creates a fascinating dynamic. Persian subjects aren't just paying taxes. They're borrowing from the empire and paying interest. They're economically dependent on Persian financial infrastructure. Rebellion becomes financial suicide. If you revolt, you lose access to credit. Your loans are called. Your trade partners cut you off. Economic isolation follows political rebellion. Darius has created financial weapons of mass destruction. He doesn't need to march armies into rebellious provinces. He just cuts off their access to the financial system. But he adds another innovation: infrastructure as investment. Darius builds the Royal Road, 2,500 kilometers from Sardis to Susa. Postal stations every 20 kilometers. Messages traveled the entire length in 7 days. This seems like a military project. It's actually economic. The Royal Road enables trade. Merchants can move goods quickly and safely. The empire provides security, standardized rest stations, reliable routes. And Persia taxes all the trade flowing through it. Think about the business model. Persia invests in roads. Trade increases. Tax revenue increases. More investment in infrastructure. More trade. More taxes. It's a self-reinforcing economic cycle. But here's what's really brilliant. Darius makes conquered peoples pay for their own integration. The Royal Road is built using local labor, funded by local taxes. The banking system operates using local deposits. The military is partly funded by local tribute. Persia is using conquered wealth to build systems that make conquest more profitable and more permanent. By 500 BC, the Persian Empire has created standardized currency across 3 continents, international banking network with letters of credit, infrastructure enabling long-distance trade, financial incentives for loyalty, economic punishment for rebellion. This isn't just an empire. It's an economic system that happens to have an army. And the army, it's mostly not Persian. Here's where the strategy gets truly revolutionary. Most of the Persian army isn't Persian. It's mercenaries, Greeks, Egyptians, Babylonians, Indians, all paid in darics, all loyal to the paycheck, not to Persia. This seems like weakness. It's actually genius. Here's why. Citizen soldiers have divided loyalties. They're loyal to their homeland first. If you order a Persian soldier to attack Persia, he might refuse. But mercenaries, they're loyal to money. As long as you pay, they fight for you, against anyone, including their own people. This gives Persia incredible flexibility. Need to fight in Greece. Hire Greek mercenaries who know Greek tactics. Need to fight in India. Hire Indian soldiers who know the terrain. You're using conquered peoples to conquer their neighbors, and paying them to do it. The cost? Enormous. Persia spends roughly 60% of tax revenue on military payroll. But here's what makes it sustainable. They're paying in darics, and they control the mint. Think about this economic loop. Persia taxes the empire in gold. Persia pays soldiers in darics. Soldiers spend darics in the local economy. Persia taxes that economic activity. The money flows back to Persia. They're recycling the money. The military payroll isn't a cost. It's an economic stimulus that returns to them through taxation. And there's a deeper genius. By paying soldiers in darics, Persia spreads the currency everywhere. The daric becomes the money of the ancient world, because armies carry it everywhere. It's economic imperialism, making your currency the global standard without forcing anyone to use it. They use it because it's the most reliable, most trusted currency available. But Persia weaponizes this trust. During the Greco-Persian Wars, Persia doesn't just fight with soldiers. They fight with gold. They bribe Greek city-states to betray Athens. They fund Sparta against Athens. They pay Athenian politicians to support pro-Persian policies. The historian Plutarch writes, Persian gold did more damage to Greece than Persian armies. Persia loses some battles, but wins strategically. By funding Greek against Greek conflicts, they keep Greece divided and weak. The cost of bribes is far less than the cost of invasion. This is economic warfare at its finest. You don't conquer enemies. You make them destroy each other. And you pay them to do it. But here's where it gets dark. Because this strategy has a fatal flaw. When your empire is built on money, what happens when you run out? 400 BC, the Persian Empire is showing cracks. Constant wars have drained the treasury. Tribute from provinces is decreasing as local economies struggle. The empire needs gold desperately. So they start doing what every government does when broke. They debase the currency. The daric used to be pure gold. Now it's gold mixed with silver. then more silver, then copper. At first, nobody notices. The coins look the same. The stamp is the same. But merchants aren't stupid. They start weighing coins, testing purity. Trust in the Daric begins eroding. And here's the problem. The entire Persian system is built on Daric trust. Letters of credit only work if the currency is reliable. Mercenaries only fight if they trust the pay. Local elites only stay loyal if the bribes hold value. When the Daric's value drops, the system starts collapsing. By 350 BC, provinces are rebelling more frequently. Not from nationalist fervor, from economic calculation. Persian bribes aren't worth what they used to be. Mercenaries start demanding payment in other currencies. Greek merchants prefer Athenian silver. Egyptian traders want their own gold. The Persian financial advantage is disappearing. Then comes Alexander the Great. 334 BC, Alexander invades with a Greek army. He's outnumbered. Persian forces have more troops, more resources, more experience. But Alexander does something brilliant. He captures Persian treasuries. Every city he conquers, he seizes the treasury first. Then he uses Persian gold to pay his army. He's literally using Persian money to destroy Persia. And he offers Persian soldiers better pay to switch sides. The same job, better currency. Thousands defect. Alexander has turned Persia's strategy against them. The empire built on money is being bought out from under itself. By 330 BC, the Persian Empire falls. Not because they lost battles. They lost plenty of battles before. But because they lost financial control. Alexander captures the main treasuries at Persepolis and Susa. Historians estimate 180,000 talents of gold and silver. That's roughly 5,000 tons of precious metals. This is the accumulated wealth of 200 years of empire. And Alexander seizes it in months. But here's the fascinating part. Alexander doesn't destroy the Persian system. He adopts it. He keeps the Persian administrative structure, the banking network, the road system, the tribute system. Even the Daric continues circulating, now stamped with Alexander's face. Why? Because the Persian economic system is too effective to discard. Alexander discovers what Cyrus knew. You don't rule an empire with soldiers. You rule it with money. After Alexander's death, his empire splits into pieces, but they all use the Persian model. The Seleucids in the east, the Ptolemies in Egypt. Even Rome eventually adopts Persian financial strategies. The empire died, but the system survived for another 1,000 years. Because Persia didn't just build an empire. They built an economic blueprint that every subsequent empire would copy. Part 5. Pull up a world map. Look at US military bases. 750 bases in 80 countries. Now ask, why? The official answer, security. Force projection, deterrence. The real answer, economic infrastructure. Every US base is a node in a global economic network. Dollars flow through these bases. Local economies become dependent on US military spending. Governments become economically tied to US presence. This is the Persian model. Exactly. Persia used garrisons and gold to create economic dependency. America uses bases and dollars. Persia paid mercenaries in darics to spread the currency. America pays allies in dollars to maintain dollar dominance. Persia built roads to enable trade they could tax. America builds financial infrastructure to enable trade they can monitor and control. Different era, same strategy, same power structure. And look at economic warfare today. Sanctions, asset freezes, swift exclusions. Cutting countries off from the financial system. This is what Darius did. Rebel and lose access to imperial banks. Today, oppose America and lose access to dollar markets. The mechanism is identical. China is watching this and learning. Belt and Road Initiative isn't just about infrastructure. It's about creating economic dependency. Countries borrow yuan, build with Chinese companies, become economically tied to China. They're using the Persian playbook. Build infrastructure, create dependency, rule through economics rather than military force. But here's what's disturbing. Persia's system collapsed when the currency failed. When the Daric was debased, the empire fell apart within decades. Now look at modern currencies. The dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power since 1913. Massive money printing, growing debt, declining trust. The parallels are exact. Empire built on currency dominance. Currency slowly debased. Trust eroding. What happens next? Persia showed us. When the currency fails, the empire falls. Not immediately, not dramatically, but inevitably. And there's no military solution. You can't enforce currency value through force. Persia tried. They passed laws making direct acceptance mandatory. They punished merchants who refused Persian currency. None of it worked. When money loses value, trust disappears. When trust disappears, the system collapses. The only difference is scale. Persia's empire was 3 continents. The dollar system is global. When the Daric failed, Persia fell. When the dollar fails, we're all Persia now. So here's what Persia really teaches us. The greatest empires aren't built on military might. They're built on financial systems. For 200 years, Persia controlled half the known world, using money as their primary weapon. They proved you can buy empires. You can purchase loyalty. You can conquer through paychecks. They invented standardized currency, international banking, letters of credit, infrastructure investment as economic strategy, mercenary armies as foreign policy. Every subsequent empire copied them. Alexander, Rome, Islamic caliphates, Mongols, European colonizers, America. The Persian model became the model for how empires function. But Persia also taught us the limitation. Empires built on currency are only as strong as their currency. When the money fails, everything fails. They showed us the warning signs. Currency debasement, declining trust, provinces rebelling, mercenaries defecting, the death spiral of monetary collapse. And we're seeing the same signs today. Currency debasement through inflation, declining trust in institutions, countries abandoning the dollar, allies questioning US economic leadership. The pattern is repeating. Persia lasted 200 years before financial collapse. The dollar system has lasted about 80 years in its current form. We might be halfway through our cycle. The question isn't whether currency-based empires fall. History proves they do. The question is what comes next. When the Daric failed, Alexander's system replaced it. When Alexander's system failed, Rome replaced it. When Rome failed, Islamic gold dinars replaced it. Empires rise and fall. But the economic strategies Persia invented 2,500 years ago continue. Because they work. Until they don't. What do you think? Is America using Persian strategies? Are we headed for Persian outcomes? Drop your thoughts in comments. Because 2,500 years ago, Persia proved that money is power. That currency dominance is empire. That financial systems can conquer the world. They also proved that financial empires are inherently unstable. That currency debasement leads to collapse. That economic dominance is temporary. We're living in a Persian-style empire, using Persian strategies, facing Persian vulnerabilities. The Persians wrote the manual on economic imperialism. We're following it, page by page, including, apparently, the chapter on how it ends. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And right now, it's rhyming in Persian.